Okay, from today's topic, we are going to talk about points. We talk about points and lines. Then point and lines. From here, we talk about the gradient, how to find the gradient when you have 2 points on a straight line. Then we'll talk about how to find the midpoint, that the midpoint of a straight line. We still talk about how to find the distance of a straight line. These are the 3 things we are going to talk about. But before then, we must have the equation of a straight line. The general equation of a straight line is y equal to mx plus c. And from here, this m is still called the gradient. This is the one we are going to look for, the gradient. And for us to find the gradient m, we have it to be difference in y over difference in x. Difference in y in such a way that if I have my y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we use this to find the gradient. Okay, now supposing I have a straight line on a graph. If I have a straight line on a graph, maybe at this point it is my point A. Then at point A, maybe I have something like 1 and 3. Then maybe this point now is my point B, and at this point B I have the coordinate there. The coordinate there to be 5 and minus 2. Let me just put it minus 2, but it's just supposed to be minus 2 this side. Okay, so if I have these 2 points, then maybe asked to find the gradient. If you are asked to find the gradient from this point, my point A is 1 and 3, which means this is x, this is y, and my point B is 5 and minus 2, which means this is x and this is y. So we want to name anyone we choose to name the first or the second. It depends on individual. So if I see this to be the 1, that means this will be the 1, this will be the 2, as this will be the 2. Then the equation of a gradient m, which is y2 is minus 2 minus y1 is 3, all divided by x2 is 5 minus x1 is 1. So this gives us minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5 over 4. So minus 5 over 4 is our gradient. The same way, if you are asked to find the midpoint, for us to find the midpoint is on this straight line from here to here, and we can have a middle point such that the length of here will be equal to length of here. That is what we call the midpoint. So if I have this midpoint to be C, maybe we are asked to find the coordinate of the midpoint. Now for me to find the coordinate of the midpoint, we have it to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. This is the coordinate of the midpoint. So for one to solve the coordinate of this midpoint, I will have it to be that my x1, which is 1, plus x2, which is 5, all over 2, and y1, which is 3, plus y2, which is minus 2 all over 2, and this final gives me this plus this is 6 over 2, and this and this gives me 1 plus minus plus is minus 3 minus this 1 over 2. Therefore the midpoint gives me this is 3 and this is 0.5. so this gives me the midpoint. Now if we are the third one, if we are asked to find the distance, we can call it the distance or we can call it the length. Distance, or we can call it the length of a line. That is the distance from A to B, or we can say the length from A to B. So if I have the distance AB means from A to B. I may say distance AC, that means from here to here, A to C, and you know the coordinate of this already, which we have obtained already to be 3 and 0.5. okay, so let's concentrate on this one, the distance or the length of AB. So the length of AB, we have it to be the square root of x1 minus x2 all squared plus y1 minus y2 all squared. This is what we use in finding the length of a line or the distance. So from this point, we know that our x1 is 1 and the x2 is 5. That means we have AB, the distance AB, to be x1 is 1, x2 is 5. I have 1 minus 5 all squared, then plus y1 is 3, y2 is minus 2. So I have 3 minus 2 all squared. So we have the AB to be the square root of 1 minus this is minus 4 squared plus minus is plus, so this gives us a 5 squared, and we have that to be this minus 4 all squared is 16, not minus 16, put it in bracket, 16 plus this squared is 25. Then we have this to be that the AB simply gives us the square root of 16 plus 25, it gives us 41. Then we look for the square root of 41. Use your calculator, find the square root of 41. Find the square root of 41 to the maybe nearest 2 decimal point or thereabout. That gives us the distance. So this is how we find the distance of a line.